Shiva.
Shiva! Love her. Shiva's cool. She's real. Hello.
She's real.
Yeah.
Hey, Dita. Shiva said hi, guys.
I got some hand sanitizer from
Hey, who's that?
one of those distilleries. It's been passing out free hand
Hey,
sanitizer.
what's going on? I can't tell who you are, but hey. Oh, who that there? Jason, what's up? Lisa. You guys, welcome. Trent, you gonna stay here? Stay on, buddy. It's great. People in all places.
Ready for some mantra movement and meditation?
We'll get started in just probably 5 to 6 seconds. You know.
Mantra movement and meditation.
Hey Julie. Hey Brad.
Hey Damien. Hi.
Y'all stay on. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. Some stuff to sing. Can I move into the shala? Yes, you can move into the shala. Shiva says she messaged you, Allie.
Do I?
Shiva says she messaged you.
I miss her.
Hey church.
I miss everyone at the church. And I
Hey
miss
Kevin. Hey
Ramon
Garland.
and Brett.
What's up? Oh, people. Hey Michael. Alright, let's get started.
Yeah.
It's that time. Welcome to my shala and elementary. Allie Porter here today. And today is going to be revolved around kind of alignment and kind of where we put our efforts towards. And you ever heard of Krishna? Most people have heard of the Hare Krishnas and Hare Krishna movement. But if you ever heard of Krishna and his journeys with Arjuna, and Arjuna is the student. He's this great warrior, and they're in this war, and Krishna becomes like this charioteer. So he's not even taking the form of God. And he's basically the teacher to help Arjuna find his path. We all have these different paths that we have to go on. And we're people that are seekers. We are constantly having to ask questions. We're trying to find our own truth. And the thing is we are on this spiritual path, and it starts from when we're little, because we go through little stages of life, and we go on this journey to kind of find our way. And that's kind of what Krishna helps Arjuna do. And today's practice is going to be based around finding a love and devotion for your dharma. It's the thing that we are constantly going in what's called a sadhana. It's putting in a spiritual daily practice. And it doesn't necessarily have to be something to a certain god or whatever like that. It's basically, what do we put our efforts into so we can manifest into something else. We'll start with a little bit of mantra today. The Maha Mantra, also known as the greatest mantra. And we will sing it in 2 different versions. One's a little bit more upbeat to start this and kind of get our devotion and our love flowing. And then we'll take it down at the end and get a little soft and sensual with Krishna Das' version. So let's all sit up nice and tall. We'll start out with 3 ohms. We have little Krishna right here too, so you can see him playing his flute. He plays his flute, and that's how he gets all of his gopis or all of his girls to be yelling. He's got a bunch of little girlfriends. They're all cowgirls. Can you turn off the AC? We're going to turn off the AC real fast. So sit up nice breath in through your nose, and then a big sigh out of your mouth. We'll start the class with the sound of your soul waking up 3 times. The sound alone. Big breath in. Big breath in. A big breath out. So today, Allie and I are going to go through a little bit of storytelling. And a lot of times we do storytelling about the things from the Vedas and from the different stories that bring up this yoga, this practice to life. But that yoga is also within us. And there's a path that we go on, and there's things that we do that ends up having to manifest later on. And that's by whether it's just like putting in that effort we talked about that's called the tapas, or maybe it's just like putting different energy in different places, and that's how like things start to pop up. Yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll let Allie take the floor.
Okay. So Mark's talking about a sadhana practice that leads you to your devotion, and sometimes, especially right now, we might not even know what that is because everything is super uncertain. And I just have a story to share with you from another time in my life when I was extremely uncertain. And it really just kind of opened everything up for me, really just to be here in this city, in New Orleans. I was living in Baltimore. I did yoga sometimes. I'm from Maryland. I did some Bikram yoga, and I'm very pitta, if you know anything about Ayurveda, so I loved Bikram, and I thought it was great, and I dated this restaurant owner who owned a Creole Cajun restaurant, the only one in Baltimore, loved New Orleans, and said that I would probably like it, and I was very unhappy with my life. I had just come back from a trip where I went to Spain and Morocco and Austria and had a wonderful time, and came home and just thought I couldn't wait to get out again. I was like, maybe I'll devote my life to travel because I don't really have anything going for me here. So I ended up going to New Orleans. I booked a plane ticket and come for Jazz Fest. I know we're all like really like thinking about Jazz Fest now and how amazing it is. And Jazz Fest is really what brought me here. Like the main thing that drew me here. I tell people that all the time, but so like we're having a great time, you know. Like we go on some ghost tours and walk through the French Quarter, and we see a bit of the Garden District. Like we went all around. I need to learn and to explore so much in order to really get the lay of the land and feel some type of way, to feel the devotion about anything. I really want to really explore it and investigate it. But so we're in cemetery number 1, where Marie Laveau is buried, and you know there's a bunch of X's on her grave and offerings, and I actually smoked cigarettes at the time, and so that was all I had to put on her grave, and the tour guide was really great, and she was like, if you make a wish, you know, they say it comes true. And sitting right here in front of you, I will tell you that wish absolutely came true, and in more ways than what I asked for, what I could ever imagine, because I took a chance. I'll say it. I asked for direction. Really, is basically what I asked for: direction and devotion. And then here I am, you know, here in New Orleans, and that same very day, I'm walking through Louis Armstrong Park, and my cat had been missing for like 2 months. I thought that she was dead. We've done everything. We've gone to the shelters. We've created a Facebook group. We've gone looking for her every day. And I had to go on my vacation and just kind of feel like, okay, maybe I need to let this go. And then my sister texted me a photo of her on my stoop, just as I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I could imagine myself here. Maybe I could be here. And we walk from the park down to Lafitte's on Burridge Street. And I'm just standing there looking at how beautiful the French Quarter is. And I get a text message that my car, which had been in the shop because the engine had flooded and needed to be rebuilt, was ready finally. And it had been like 3 months because it's a PT Cruiser. So it was crazy. My exact make and model of my car drove right past me as I got that text message. And I'm like, this is very weird. I'm like, maybe, there is something about this place that could work for me. I mean, the mysterious aura of it and the mixture of Catholicism and occultism and voodoo, these are all things that like sang to me, like they sang to my soul. And even the style of yoga here is different, and I've enjoyed it so much better, and I've enjoyed exploring yoga more. And the music, of course, I mean, that spoke to my soul so much. But I think there is something to be said for when you're open and receptive. It's definitely easier to attract what you inherently and intuitively desire, because I didn't know how much I needed New Orleans in my life, and how much I was even going to love it when I booked this plane ticket. But just asking, just like simply asking for help, asking for guidance to whomever you pray for, to and for, whether it's Marie Laveau or Krishna, or and Krishna does rule your heart chakra, so Krishna is all about devotion. They will listen. Like, these energies will listen, and they'll speak to you, and the things that you ask for, and you align, you will just align yourself with what you ask for. But you must do the work as well. But if it's what you truly want and what's truly on your dharmic path, like, it will come to you. And there's so much comfort in that, and knowing that. There's comfort in the mysterious and the uncertain, and knowing that things will settle.
Yeah, so, it could be praying to whoever your divine is, but your teachers and your gurus, they can be, whether it's a yoga teacher or somebody that you had in school, but it can also be, like she said, like different energies or different signs that you see that make you think and say, hey, maybe this was like something that's leading me on this path. I had a very, very crazy story where I was brought on to this author named John Joseph, and so a friend of mine was like, you got to read his memoir. So I go and read his memoirs called The Evolution of a Cro-Magnon, and it's 18 hours on Audible, and it was eye-opening, and it was just like his whole story. And I look at it, there's similarities in mine, in terms of like growing up a little bit hardened, but he went through total crap. And when I start to like hear people nowadays like, oh my God, my life was so tough. This guy, like, he made it a point. Now, I did a lot of stupid shit, and I know I have. I'm sure Allie has too in our lives. But like, it was the constant journey that he learned every step of the way to get where he is now. And he's in his mid-50s, like public speaker, does Ironman events and stuff like that. I mean, he's just very dedicated to his practice. So I read his first book, his memoir, and then I loved it so much. And he had this other book that came out called The PMA Effect, which is Positive Mental Attitude. And so it's probably last like, I don't know, August or September. And there's an alignment and anatomy training at Laughing Lotus up in New York. So I was going up there, and then also Chelsea and Rachel from the church were going up there to take this intensive. And so the day before I'm going up there, I send this guy, John Joseph, who doesn't know me from anything, a message on Instagram. I slide into his DMs, right? And I'm like, hey, man, I'm coming to New York. you want to go for a run, you want to grab coffee, lunch, you just tell me, I will meet you. Like, this guy's inspired me. He became one of my teachers, and I passed it along to others. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool if I could meet this guy. So I sent him a DM, and he actually answers the DM, and he's like, hey man, if you're in the Lower East Side on this day or whatever in Manhattan, just hit me up, and I'll see if I can make time. Very vague, but whatever. I mean, everybody's busy, he doesn't know me from anybody. So I get there on like a Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I send him a DM right before I'm going into a noon class with Deb Langley from Laughing, or was that Laughing Lotus? And we all go to her class. And right before I send him a DM, like, hey man, I'm good from 1 to like 6 p.m. tonight. You just tell me when and where. I will walk, I will subway, whatever it is. I'll get there. Just to kind of like, it's when you want to talk to, say, one of your teachers or somebody that inspires you, I was just like, man, it'd be really cool to be in front and be that seeker, be that person that asks questions. So I DM him before. I go take the class. I get out of the class. I'm checking my phone the whole time. No answer. But you can see that he's seen that you have he's seen what you have said. So no answer. So we all go to lunch. And I'm sitting there. They're all talking. I'm not even caring. I'm looking at my phone. Looking at my phone. Looking at my phone. And still doesn't answer. So the girls are going back towards the studio, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna like head down towards the Lower East Side, just walk. I mean, it's a beautiful day in New York. It's summer in New Orleans, so anything is better than the heat that we have here. So I put on my headphones like any New Yorker would, and I put it on a podcast with Joe Rogan and John Joseph. And so I'm listening to it, and I'm just walking. I have no plan in the world, just going down the streets of New York, just heading south, right? And I'm walking for about 20 minutes, and lo and behold, I look across, I think it might have been like 4th Avenue, and I see him just out of the blue. I run across the street, like a car could have hit me, I wouldn't have cared. I just run, and I grabbed him. You gotta know this guy is pretty hardcore. I grabbed him, I took off my sunglasses, and was like, hey, I'm Mark Berger. He just looked at me like wide-eyed. Well, you have to know about him and his level of devotion, and his yoga practice is more about bhakti yoga. There's different yogas. There's the asana, there's bhakti yoga, there's karmic yoga, and a bunch of other things. But he's more in about like, just the energies of the universe and how if we put effort into those things, just like Krishna does, then, things can happen. And so he's like, wow, this is like some cosmic shit, man. And he ended up sitting with me for like 20, 30 minutes on the side of the street just shooting the shit. We actually know one of the same guys, Josh Lajani, who's actually from here. But I kept going back, and I was like, man, there's this thing. There's a chapter in his book, The PMA Effect, and it's called Be All In. And just one of the quotes from there was, that's why you have to be all in. You have to go after what you want. Remove the obstacles that hold you back from your dreams. Life is a high-stakes game, so winner takes all. And if we don't start to put that effort into what we want into life, then we're asking for grace, we're asking for our prayers, and yes, sometimes things just magically happen, but a lot of times it's like, are you all into what you're doing? Can you see signs when they show up? And then what do you do after that happens? How do you find the sadhana? How do you find that daily spiritual practice or routine so you can build and build and build? And you're not always going to get what you want, but something else might manifest from it. So close your eyes. Take a big breath in through your nose. And a big sigh out of your mouth. We are going to start with a little bit of mantra to Lord Krishna, the Maha Mantra, the greatest mantra. So sing along. It's only 3 words. You have to know Hare Krishna and Rama. Pretty simple.
And really what it translates to is energy of the Lord, of the all attractive one. Allow me to be in service for you. Like, please let me be devoted to you. You know,
let me put in that effort.
Yeah.
Let me put in that tapas. Like Krishna says, make it a practice. And then things will start to manifest.
And sometimes that practice is just telling yourself that you're enough. And right now, that's what it might be for. That's what it's for a lot of us, like on the day to day right now.
Cool. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One more time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. One big one. Big breath in. Big breath out. I'm going to slide off the camera, and we're going to do a gentle practice today. If you have a blanket nearby, that'd be good just for a little prop that we might use. So let's start in a child's pose. I'll just scoot the back just a little bit so it's centered. There we go. We're trying to have our space between each other.
Social distancing.
Beautiful. And I want you to flip your palms up. It's an offering to who you're devoted to. Right now, that could be that higher being. It could be to maybe some of the people that are out there and serving us right now, that are on the front lines, and send these prayers and this devotion and this service up to them. How can we engage ourselves to be one with them? Know that you can come back here at any time today. And today, as we move, maybe your palms stay up. Maybe you give this practice away. It's always yours. But as yoga says, we are here to connect. We are here to find love and service and devotion to the divine. Slowly roll up to all fours. We're going to start with a few cows and cats. On your inhale, drop the belly as the gaze goes up. On your exhale, you're going to push the earth away around the spine, chin into the chest. Inhale, shine the heart through the shoulders, breathing. Exhale, pull the navel up towards the heavens, chin back in. Inhale, arch the spine. Exhale, round the spine. One more on your own breath. Inhale your right arm up to the sky. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, weave your right hand underneath your left wrist and your left knee. Bring your right cheek to the mat. Right palm stays facing up. Left fingertips can reach out in front of you if you would like, and find a stretch down the left side of your body. Maybe turn your chin towards your left armpit. On your next inhale, start to slowly unfurl, right arm back up to the sky. Left hand can come back to center, and then right hand down. Inhale the left arm up to the sky. Exhale, thread the needle, left cheek to the mat. Right fingertips can reach long overhead. Inhale, bring the left arm back up. Right fingertips back down to your shoulder. And then left hand down. One more cat and cow to just neutralize the spine. Inhale. Exhale. And then tuck your toes and your hips to the sky for your first downward facing dog. Pedal through the feet. Find some soft movement. And today, have compassion for yourself and for the people that are hurting in this world. Knowing that if we put in conscious sadhana every single day, that it's one little step in helping somebody else. Find stillness in your downward facing dog. Have some water into the knees. Send your chest back towards your thighs. And then breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Inhale your right foot high to the sky, three-legged dog. On your exhale, step your right foot in between your hands. Reach the heart forward on your breath in. Drop your back knee on your breath out. And release your hands on top of your right thigh. Start to sink into your right knee. Keep the spine long. And then lift the arms up to the sky. If you reach for the divine, find that yearning and longing for the connection to something deeper inside of you. Big breath in through your nose. On your exhale, frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee. Spin to the left for a wide-legged forward fold. Find soft bends into each knee. Come back to center. Ground the right hand, left arm gently opens up to the sky for a twist. With a big breath in. Left hand comes down to the mat. Slowly turn towards the top of the mat for a low lunge. Then bring your right arm up to the sky. Your left knee can stay lifted, or you can drop it down if you need a little bit more softness. Big breath in. And then right hand comes down to the mat. Tuck your back toes. And then send your right foot to meet your left foot, downward facing dog. Roll into plank pose. And the child's pose, knees out wide, big toes touching. Slide the heart onto the mat for baby cobra. And then tuck your toes, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left foot comes high to the sky. Step it in between your hands. Reach the heart forward, breathe in. Drop your back knee as you breathe out. And release your hands on top of your thigh. Sink the hips down. Pull the shoulders back. Reach the arms up to what you want to manifest in your life. Ooh, a little crack. Yes, our life comes as we reach for things that we want and that we need. Without it, we just sit there and hope. We want our dreams to come true, but it's about putting forth the effort. Big breath in. Hands come to frame your front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, spin to the right, wide-legged forward fold. Sway from side to side. Bend to the knees, lubricate the joints of the lower extremities. Maybe even sway the arms from side to side, and then just get this fluid motion. And then come back to center. Slowly come back towards the top of the mat. A little lunge. Oh, never mind. Right arm up to the sky. Thank you, Allie. Breathe in, and then come to the top of the mat. Drop the back knee, or keep it lifted, and left arm up to the sky for a gentle twist. And know whatever your divine is, it's really just this energy that we all belong to. If we know that it's there, we become stronger as we become closer together. Right now in this world, we need each other more than ever. We need our plants and animals. We need the sunlight. And we need the divine. Big breath in. Left hand comes down to the ground. Step back, downward facing dog. Roll into plank pose. This time pause here. Drop your knees, then chest, then chin. Cobra pose slides the heart onto the mat. And then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Slowly walk your feet up to the top of the mat. Grab opposite elbow, sway from side to side. Know that the real love in our life, the real love of our soul, isn't motivated by expectations of what we're going to get out of it. That we have to live out our universal dharma for the goodness of all. Drop your hands down to the ground. Slowly rise up, one vertebra at a time. Arms are the last thing to reach up to the heavens. Big breath in. And then hands come to heart center. Your left hand against your heart and your right hand on top of your left hand. Feel that divine vibration. It's not only within you, but that all brings us all together. Lift your arms up to the sky, deep breath in. And then exhale, forward fold. Lift and lengthen halfway. Forward fold. Inhale, rise. Come all the way up. Arms reach up to the heavens. Exhale, hands at heart center. Right hand to your heart. Left hand over your right hand. Inhale your arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands at heart center. Inhale, arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your right foot steps back to the lunge. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll into plank pose. Knees, chest, chin, or lower all the way down to your belly. Cobra pose as the heart reaches through the shoulders. And then downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Inhale your right foot high to the sky. Step it in between your hands. Inhale, left foot meets your right foot, top of the mat, long spine. Exhale, fold in love with yourself. Inhale, arms up to the heavens. Hands come to heart center. Inhale, reach the arms to the heavens. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your left foot steps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Roll into plank pose. Lower down through belly or knees, chest, chin. Totally up to you. Cobra pose, breathe in. Tops of the feet, press down. Downward facing dog, hips to the sky. Exhale. Left leg high to the sky. Step in between your hands. Right meets left. Inhale, top of the mat. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms high to the sky. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, your right foot steps back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Roll into plank pose. Lower down to your belly. Shine the heart as you breathe in. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Roll into plank pose. And then come to sit in hero's pose. Bring your booty to your heels. This time, bring your right hand on your heart, your left hand over your right hand. We all want to feel connected to something. And if we start to lose that connectedness, then it's kind of like a switch turning off, like losing its power. And if it's off long enough, it's harder and harder to turn back on. So it's the constant sadhana, it's that constant practice of staying connected. Starting with the divine, bringing that into yourself, and then being able to share it with the others in the world. Slide your heart onto the mat from here. Grab your blanket if you have it. And you're going to put it right underneath your pelvis. A long pillow could work here. And then just bring one cheek to the mat. We'll stay here for a few breaths with one cheek, and then we'll switch sides eventually. And as you're laying here, think about where in your life do you want to put a little bit more effort? It's not always about the goal, sometimes about the journey. But there's things that we always say that we need or that we want. Those things become maybe our dreams. But how much are we actually putting into them? Is it finding your teacher? Is it maybe taking that trip like Allie did? Knowing that there was something there for her, she just didn't know. And then there became signs. Is it finding some more knowledge and wisdom to understand maybe the things that we don't understand? I always tell people that I work with, like, if I don't know, I'm not going to just tell you something. We have like this great thing called computers and phones that are like now in our hands 24/7. And it gives us an opportunity to obviously not keep it all the time and be attached to it. It gives us an opportunity to really get to places that no generations before us could. We might not be able to, say, travel to India, but we can to find, like, say, your enlightenment or to take a teacher training there or whatever. But we can go online and we can find maybe some other people's truths that will help us find our own. Okay, switch cheeks wherever you're at. We'll take our opposite cheek to the mat. And then from there, there's also our meditation practice. We have the craziness of the internet and finding our teachers. And then there's the time to sit still. That meditation practice can look like so many different ways. And it's, and not even all meditation is sitting still. Some might be singing mantra. Maybe that's a way that calms you down. Maybe it's taking a walk, meditation walk, where it's kind of just clearing your mind, knowing that you have so much to do and so much that you want and need, but there's also the time to let it just sit, to manifest, to let the grace of the divine do its work. And it starts with our breath, the pranayama. Right now is a time where our breath and the breath work that we do is so important with the respiratory problems that we're having with this disease. Can we find times to just sit and breathe or walk and breathe? I love teaching, or I love singing mantra. The hardest part for me when I was starting to sing mantra was to actually bring the breath into it, because I'm like singing, hold my breath, I'm trying to get to the next verse, and it's gone. Like I'm like suffocating for air. And if I hadn't, number one, learned the right way to do it, and then put it into practice, just like Krishna says, we need to put these practices in on a daily routine. From here, turn your cheek the opposite way, and then I want you to take the sole of your left foot inside, or whatever foot your face is turning to, inside your thigh, but it doesn't have to touch. It's just kind of like a little hip opener here. And then let your pelvis just fall into the blanket, probably more onto the opposite side of your tree leg. Let you start to feel support. Switch sides. Facing the left leg back, and then take the sole of the right foot, and then gently place it inside the thigh. And then slowly come up. And then come back into your hero's pose. Come to stand on your shins. Tuck your toes behind you. Bring your hands to your sacrum, which is right where your butt and your back is. You're going to rotate the thighs, press the hips forward, and then start to lean back, the head drop back, and then let the heart open. Maybe reach for the heels. And then press your hips forward. And then slowly come up. Butt back down to your heels. Neutralize the spine. Come to lie on your back, please. You can remove the blanket, just put it to the side. We'll use it again in a little bit. Actually, we'll use it now. We're gonna do just a little heart opener here. Sally's gonna take the blanket, and she is going to rest her shoulders on top of the blanket, at the bottom of her shoulders, so the back of her shoulders come down, and then she's gonna open up her arms. Keep the neck neutral. Let the feet splay and be soft. Know that everything that you've been searching for, or that you're still seeking, has been within your heart your entire life. It's those little things that we learn along the way, whether they were the good things that we did or the bad things that we did, that bring us to the place where we're at now. And as we get older, we hopefully get more conscious. We learn to sometimes be our own person more than we would have when we were younger, and there's peer pressure. Or maybe it's just something that you grew up learning, whether it's your food habits or whether it's just how you treated people or how you were even treated, that you're like, hey, this was not the best way to do things. And so your teachers aren't always giving you, you can be taught by something that maybe wasn't even right. Like maybe it was the wrong way. And sometimes the best teacher is yourself. Krishna tells Arjuna, you already know that this is in you. By giving your love and devotion to the divine, you can be as powerful as you want. You can take that power. Bend through your knees. And you're going to bring the soles of your feet onto the ground. from here, bring your arms down by your side. You can remove the blanket or bring it underneath your sacrum if you just want a supported bridge. Allie will show that first. And maybe you can even double up a blanket if you want to like fold it in half again, just to kind of make it like your own little like at-home block. And just, there you go, center it. Stay there. Or press all four corners of the feet into the mat. And then you're going to lift the hips up. Just walk the shoulder blades underneath the back of the body. Feet are on 12. There's room between your chin and your chest. So that fifth chakra can open. So then maybe you become the teacher. That fifth chakra is about listening. So we can be in service of others with our own voice. And then slowly come down. We're going to go into a figure four. Take your right ankle over your left knee. Bring your left knee towards your chest. You're going to thread the needle as you bring your right hand between your legs. Your left hand meets it behind your left hamstring. You can flex both feet and then energetically press your right knee away from you. Gently release and then switch sides. The right knee in. Flex the feet. From here, if you have that blanket, grab the blanket. You're going to bring both feet up to the sky for waterfall. So bring the blanket down just so it gives your hips a little bit of a lift, but try to keep your lower back on the blanket. Remember, we are seekers. We're the ones to ask questions. We need to ask for help to find that path along the way. How do we put in that daily practice to get closer to God, to get closer to health, to get closer to compassion, to get closer to connection, to the energy and the people that are around us all the time? Come up to a nice, comfortable, cross-legged seat with your hands at heart center. We're going to come back and finish off with a little mantra. And if you would like to sit and chat with us, please do. Or you can find your final rest, your final relaxation. Shavasana. Life back into the body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Make circles with your wrists and your ankles. On your next inhale, find a full body stretch with your arms long overhead. Then hug your knees into your saddles and give yourself a nice big squeeze. Give yourself some love and gratitude for making it to your mat today. And send in love and gratitude to all your teachers, to all those people on the front line, all those that are hurting, and to yourself. Slowly roll to your right side and up to a nice, comfortable cross-legged seat. Left hand over your heart, right hand over your left hand. We'll end our class with the sound of the universe, the sound of everyone, 3 times. Big breath. Big breath in. Inside out. The knuckles come to your third eye, your place of intuition. Thank you all for joining us today. Stay safe. Namaste. Thank you, yogis.